Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. It's me again, obviously, Theta, who else would be here? I hope that you're not just joining out of the random to watch Banner of the Stars at the third episode. That'd be weird. Anyway, obviously gonna start with the board here, as you can see below. I'm pointing at actually nothing. This is my desk. You have no idea. Anyway, all we've really added here, I think I mentioned them last time, was Kufadias. That's not how you say that. Kuvadis, the staff guy, I think it is, from the uh, Spore. Duchess Spore. I mean, she's the Duchess Leto Pano, but we know the board behind her says, I am Spore. So, and I guess technically I can get rid of this green line and attach her to the Ramage line because she's a fleet leader now and not part of Commander Trife's group. You know what? I am now pretty sure that. Okay, somebody correct me out there. I do not remember why I put a blue line attaching these two. I'm pretty sure they're not related. Did I have Lord Desagno here earlier? No, I'm pretty sure I had him up here the whole time. Why do I connect them? Did I mean to put a green line? I'm asking you people, like, you should know, right? You know why I do things. Tell me. Why why did I do that? I'm gonna wait for one of you to comment. Hopefully, one of you is gonna tell me I'm just wrong and there should be a green line, or I could just strike that line out completely and just attach him to like the military green line that I have all these other people with. Otherwise, also, I think the Hector commander, Koto Kiel. I don't know if he's in any specific fleet. They may have mentioned that he was in one of the battalion. Was it? I don't think they were called battalions. Either way, he might have been pointed at one of those, and I just didn't get the number because the number wouldn't help me any. I was going to say last time that Lafiel, her ship, was part of the First Fleet, and I was going to make a whole statement about her being under the Duchess. But then I remembered, or I went back and I re-listened, and that she was actually part of like the first battalion or first something, not actually the First Fleet. And then they don't mention who that part or who that group was with. So just kind of backtracked on that one real fast. And then obviously Kanesh here, who is a third fleet. Otherwise, uh, we obviously have Makrit Talus, who for the time being, I mean, I allied him with Alanga, but there's no reason for that technically. I just don't have a United Mankind leader to attach everyone to. So I guess technically also I've slipped up here, and I should have put a red line between Makrit and Kufadis, possibly also with the Duchess, but I think she's already relegated it down to Kufadis to deal with him. Said I'm too busy or I'm too bored, actually. Yeah, but I don't have any United Mankind like leader or anything because if you see, obviously I've attached everyone to the Empress and like the whole military thing going on here. I guess I could technically tie them all to the diplomat, which I didn't do either. I know if I post this in the Reddit comment threads, they're all gonna correct me and they're gonna point out again that Rena isn't Jinto's sister, which I still disagree with. I haven't gotten any evidence to the contrary on that one either. I believe there's one other person. Um, yeah, right here, Samson. Samson, of course, being part of Lafiel's bridge crew, one of the officers. Could have sworn there was somebody else. Did I forget? Yep. Sorry, I realize now that I did forget to grab one last person, and this is going to be a name that I'm never going to get right. Ikuria, Ekurua. That's me trying to pronounce it in real time. She's the officer on Lafiel's ship that thinks Daiho is cute. So, yep, I have messed up a number of things. I have jumped the gun. And obviously, nobody ever answered me on the whole is Admiral Abriel Dusano, because obviously the whole naming scheme lends itself to there being any number of Abriel admirals or commanders or pilots or staff whatevers. So I have no idea. That's the you know what? I'm here. I am here. I could literally just do this. Obviously, I think that would be the next easiest connection. And then obviously sorry, the reason I don't talk while I'm doing this is that my push to talk button is actually a valuable button in scrolling through the internet. And through years of just habit, I don't use any other button. So it's kind of, I'm bad. I'm just bad at this. I'm going to go ahead and, until somebody corrects me on the blue line, I'm just going to add that one. So that'll be at least partially correct. See, I probably should have done this in the note-taking section, so you just want to say real quick, but otherwise, I think we're back to technically correct again. So yeah, otherwise, notes from last time, not a lot. We had the fun moments between the politics of the president and Kafadis. Oh, by the way, something I did super enjoy. This is a topical image, isn't it? Maybe it's more so from a couple of years ago, if you're an American or you're into American politics. Who knows? Let me know if it fits into the meme politics of your country. Otherwise, I just didn't even think about it the first two times that I saw it, and then I looked at it again, and it's like, huh, that's kind of funny. Obviously, probably lost half my audience, half my American audience there. But hey, even even if you disagree with me politically, have a little bit of humor about it, right? I'm sure something funny will happen to the other side, and maybe I'll miss it, and you'll bring it up in the comments, and we'll all have a laugh. The world's better when it's funny. It's worse when it's not. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, I guess two major things that are sticking with me. Maybe they're memes, maybe they're not. One, where's Rena? Two, is that guy a cannibal? That's that's my two things now. Samson, cannibal? Where's Rena? Otherwise, I think we just get into the episode. Otherwise, I'm going to say otherwise five more times, and I'm going to just joke, laugh the rest of it. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into episode 3.
突撃分艦隊ラトゥーシュ第1058突撃戦隊第1突撃隊
So I was right, it was battalion.
それが僕たちの所属先だった。スポール提督の制圧したアプティック星系の紹介に当たるのが任務だ。
They are with the first fleet then.
反揚手法を主力とする機動力が勝負の小型艦で防御力が弱いため常に6隻で1つの隊を組んで行動している。配属されて3ヶ月、アプティック星系はすっかり後方基地としての姿を整えていた。
間もなくアプティックに到着します。
Desmond Sasano.
減塩作戦は極めて順調に運び、首脳部を不気味がらせているらしい。だが、我がバースロイル艦長、アブリアルネイ・ドゥブレスク・パリューニュ子爵ラフィールは今、首脳部とはいささか別のことを不気味に思っていた。それは
艦長、指令より通信出すがよい。
Alright, Slow Starter.
本日の合同訓練はこれで終了するわ。通常航行速度にてダクルーに帰還します。
了解しました。
直属の上官である突撃隊司令アトスリア百姓長とラフィールの間には ちょっとした縁があったんだ。あまりいい
I don't know, call that a connection.
3年前、百姓長の兄であ
No,
る
what am I talking about?
フェブダー
Do
シ
the
ュ
board thing. I know what connections are. That's a connection.
殺したのだ。
Are they building a Dyson sphere? What is going on here? Oh, it is. Obviously it is.
Boti abriarulves penal, clahal bular bina lo bular lupet, bona lu, oiva gomulos yad buli ludl.
Wait, is this just the new intro?
Mikudulas abdasada bigosa, bular clear, kisailel, danlo yad bur belly.
'Cause I thought this was just the information giving part from last time. We're doing it again in the part where I thought I'd get new information. But I feel like that was exactly the same, so are they just rolling that into the intro now? I'll admit, that is kind of disappointing. I don't know. Sorry, I'm looking over here because that's where my note page is. Obviously, I have the notes about the Commander-in-Chief, Admiral Basroil, and the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Huh. I'm gonna have to go back. Obviously, in the note-taking section, I just realized I have Commander-in-Chief, the 1st Fleet, the 2nd Fleet, and then I've written down the 4th Fleet and the 5th Fleet. Is there a 3rd Fleet on there? Did I miss the 3rd Fleet? Huh. Because otherwise that was just that and the 4 Nations Alliance turning into 3 Nations Alliance without any explanation, which is still throwing me. No one's commented on that in the Discord, nor, I don't know if I pointed this out, but I think I did in the 1st episode that I started recording these in time with a Reddit rewatch. I have not been spoiling myself because a bunch of those people in the rewatch have also already seen this before. So I haven't been reading their comments, but I have been making my own comments and responding to their responses. No one has corrected me or told me about that either, so I don't know.
そなたのその顔、まるで悪さをした子供のようだぞ。
やめてくれよ。君は何とも思わないのかい？
それはあの時言っただろう。他に道はなかったんだ。
違うよ。僕が言いたいのは、百姓長がそのことで僕らに特別な感情を抱いてないかとか。ラフィールはちょっと困った顔をして意外にあっさりと結論を出した。
まあ、考えても仕方ないだろう。
Exactly. You got no control over it.
なんか調子狂うな。
At the same time, we're all human and we all worry about
お話
things.
があります。なんだ。この子のことですが。これも悩みの種だったな。そなたもディアーホを乗せていたいのか？このままバースロイルに乗っていた場合とラクハカールへ帰った場合の死亡率を比較対象しました。それで
Exactly the same.
まず結論を述べる前に説明させていただきます。暇つぶしにはいいか。
降伏勧告を出すつもりがないと。
はい、当面はありません。今降伏していただいても当方にはあまり利点がないのです。
つまり我が惑星は
Oh,
ただ
Macrit.
封
We're
鎖
back
さ
to
れるだ
Macrit.
けですか。
そうなるでしょうか。地表から高度300ウエスタージュ以上の空域からは締め出させていただきます。ですがそれ以下なら何ら交通を妨げようとは思いません。もちろん敵対行動にはそれなりの対応をさせていただきますが。
しかしここは工業惑星でして。
Also, what about the firefighters? We know they fly.
このままでは餓死者が出てしまいます。
あなたたちの社会に飢餓をもたらすことを望んでいるわけではありません。勧告を出さないからといって 降伏を受け入れないと決めているのではないのです。我が軍はしばらくこの政権にいるつもりですので、いつでも好きな時に降伏なさればいいでしょう。
Oh, now you're playing
天
politics.
下のお話を伺っていると、私たちの惑星に関心がないようですな。
張り手に申し上げるとそうなのです。我々が興味を持っているのは比較的恒星の近くにあるソードと第4アプティックの水素や水なのです。
Fits with what they told Hyde, right? The Hyde system.
お気を悪くなされたのでなければよいのですが、
悪くしないのは不可能というものです。
それは残念です。今回の作戦が一段落して、まだ貴星系が我らの制圧下にあり、なおかつ貴星系が降伏しておられないようなら、改めて勧告が行われるでしょう。
それを聞いて安心したと申し上げるべきなのですかな。
付け加えますと、
Still playing into
我
his
々
thing.
はあなたたちの惑星が無秩序状態に陥ることは望んでいません。地上世界の秩序を回復するのは控えめに言っても手間がかかります。ですから無政府状態になる前に降伏してくださるよう要望いたします。
あなた方が手を煩わせるのを見るためなら、この身を奮撃したボートの狂気にさらすぐらい何でもないことに思えますよ。では殿下、機関らの考えが分かっただけでもなかなか有意義な会見で
Yeah,
し
that you want him to
た。あとは
demand.
我々で協議します。
ごきげんよう、首
Also,
相。
you had a bald spot in the back of your head.
アプティック、ミスケル、ダルマップ、ウィンブル、ミオフランディア。戦闘らしい戦闘もないままここまで来ましたが、
Yeah, they must be
お
gathering
そ
a
らく
fleet
この
somewhere
どこか
else.
奥深く、我らに対抗できるだけの艦隊が集結しつつあるはず。どこか奥深く。
Yeah, but with
の
only
ど
a
かで
third
す
of the
ね。
third of the forces.
なぜ降伏勧告を出さなかったのですか。
言いたくはありませんが、戦局は流動的です。すぐ人類統合体がこの生計を回復するかもしれません。その時、アプティックがさっさと帝国領になったとあっては、あの人たちも肩身が狭いでしょ
お優しいこと。本当は調印儀式と編入手続きが面倒だったのでしょ。さらに言えば首相閣下は降伏勧告を出してほしそうでした。さすがお司令長官殿下。いつでも人の望むもの
At
は
least they understand. I'm also assuming that's the Ob language, which is weird.
う。ちょっとした罪のない楽しみですよ。
別に非難しているのではありませんわ。殿下の性格がどしがたいものであることを再認識しているだけです。
なるほど。
もちろん再認識する機会はいくらでもありましたし、
They in a
これからも
relationship?
たくさんあるでしょうけど、
そう何度も再認識する必要などないでし
私にはありませんわ。
ょう。まさか私にあるというのではないでしょうね。これは秘密にしなければいけませんね、参謀長。
何をですか。
司令長官と参謀長がうまくいっていないことをですよ。全軍の指揮に関わるでしょ
私
Wait,
は
what?
この上なくうまくいっていると思いますけど。
It feels like you do. I was just about to comment about the fact that Lafiel said children of love were so rare. And it feels like all the commanders and their staff officers are in relationships. It's weird. I guess a lot of people are in love and they just don't have children the natural way.
ここが戦場用の簡易施設だとは思えないな。
銀主系列翼少子ね。
あとすりゃ百姓長。
あなたのことは父から聞いているわ。
はい、
Good old sleuth.
お父上にはお世話になっています。
そんなに硬くならないで。兄のことなら気になさらなくてもいいのよ。
はあ、そうなんですか。
議論の余地なく兄を殺されたのはあんまり愉快な出来事とは言えないわね。
そうでしょうね。
でも所詮兄弟なんて縁の
Hearing
薄
you
いも
talk
の。
about it that way doesn't make me
父
feel
の
any,
扱いに
you
ついて
know,
も
less at
私は
ease.
賛成じゃなかった。自分の親を監禁するなんてね。大して仲のいい兄弟じゃなかったわ、私たち。
でも、 なんと言っていいか、お兄様のことは残念でした。
残念ね。問題は爵位なのよ。
は？
ありがとう。
爵位
Oh,
ですか。
she was ordering
あ
a
なたも知って
drink.
の通り、フェブダーシュは田舎よ。
But she was
私
doing
子供
work.
の頃からあそこが嫌だったわ。
はあ、
兄が爵位を継いでくれてせいせいしていたのよ。かけねなしに。このまま一生ラクファカールで遊んで暮らせるって。でもあなたのお姫様のおかげでせっかくの人生設計がぶち壊し。
すいません。失礼ですが、館長は僕のお姫様じゃないですよ。もし館長のことを指しておっしゃっているのなら。
気にしないで。ちょっとした文学的習字じゃないの。
やはり僕たちのことを恨んでらっしゃるんじゃ。
父の話からはもうちょっと賢い青年だという印象を
I
受け
don't
てい
know.
た
He
けれ
doesn't seem to
ど、
understand a lot of this.
申し訳ありません。
恨んでいるにしたってそんなことを口にするわけないじゃない。何しろ私は地位を利用して支援を張らせる立場にいるのよ。恨んでいたら黙って復讐の機会を狙うわよ。
なるほど。でも爵位のことは。
Let's just shift
そ
that
れも
topic
大
away
したこ
from
とじゃ
that.
ない。考えようによっては貴族の当主でいるのも結構気分のいいものだし、あのみすぼらしい所領も手を入れれば快適になるでしょうよ。お兄様に習って家臣を美男子ばかりで固めようかって思ってるところ。まあこの戦争が終わったからの話だけど。
それはいい考えですね。
とにかく
We're not going to turn this
あな
into
たの
a
お姫様に
triangle,
そう
are
言っ
we?
ておいて、別に恨んじゃいないって。全て運命だと思って諦めるって。
なぜご自分でおっしゃらないのです？
苦手なのよ。
苦手？
そう。何しろアブリアルの姫君なのよ。まあお仕事でならそんなことはないけど、個人的な事柄はそう気楽に話せないじゃない。
そうですか。
I feel like the situation is going to be helped
僕には苦手な人
by
間が
anything
たく
if
さ
we
んいる
keep
の
doing
で、
this in
僕を
between
苦手
talk.
とする人間はこの銀河にいないらしい。
伝えておいてね。
はい。
Okay, thankfully we're not going to do the triangle thing. I was worried.
所属不明の巡察艦級時空砲6個、ウィンブル方面より飛来。敵の威力偵察と思われる。待機乗員は直ちに配置に戻るように。
あら、大変。
Wimple was the next planet in line,
話
right?
は後にするがよい。それよりあと12分37秒で全員集合の予定。告げる。こちら艦長。残留乗員は10分以内に配置につくがよい。繰り返す。残留乗員は10分以内に配置につくがよい。
実践だ。訓練じゃないんだ。
Okay, buddy, no shoving.
すぐ取り掛かることが可能なこと。そうか。
気持ち悪い。酔いざましのこの感触がたまらないね。
Well, thankfully they have pills for that.
ごめん。すみません艦長。
It hasn't been 10 minutes yet. It's been minutes.
Yoshi.
Not even.
全装甲閉鎖。接続通路の切り離しおよび収容。
接続通路の切り離しおよび収容。通路切り離し完了。
前方姿勢制御機関再微水力で吹かせ。
噴射開始。
船体離岸。
告げる。こちら司令。正式に命令が下ったわ。私たちは正体不明時空砲群を捕捉。敵と判明した場合は殲滅を図る。集合地点の座標
I guess I'd be worried if they're grouped up mines inside individual space bubbles.
よろしい。これが初めての実戦体験だという人もたくさんいるでしょう。
Because we've seen that tactic before, and it is hostile.
ウィンブルの部隊は何をしていたのかしら。まあ警戒部隊に多くを期待しちゃダメということでしょうけど、それはともかくこれは極めて勇敢な行為であることは認めざるを得ないわ。勇者にふさわしい歓迎を。
集合地点の座標来ました。思考結晶に送ります。指揮官点火。
指揮官点火。
こっ っちに来るんだ、ディアホ。
Actually, don't come here. I mean, Cat did obviously the opposite of what was asked, but I'm still happy
しばらくじっとしていろよ。
that he's in a good spot. That cat dies, so help me God. This would be like Marie from Nadia all over again up in here.
艦長、戦列艦リュムソーフより通信。安全基準違反だと抗議しています。艦長との直接交信を要求しています。私は忙しい。出られないと伝えるがよい。第一、戦列艦に出番はないだろう。
Oh, this is going on your record.
怒ってる怒ってる。
This is the perfect way to go in between, though. They say they're really angry.
前方にいるものはあるか。
一隻だけいますね、艦長。
どの船だ。
共同突撃艦ガムロイルです。
距離は
約2セダージュ。
一番乗りは百姓長に譲らないといけないみたいだな。待機命令です。それと事前説明を受信。平面図投影します。黄色が敵と思われる時空砲軍か。
Because if it's just
は
6,
巡査艦級。
yeah, I would have to say there had to be all
ウィンブル
patrol
およびアクティ
ships.
ック方面の我が軍勢力を把握することでしょうね。
近いな。
我々が向き
I
に
say
なら
that
なけ
because
れば
apparently patrol
目的
ships are
達成でき
bigger
な
or
い
more
ですからね。
powerful than
大いに
battleships.
結構さっさと済ませてしまいましょ
That's what we've seen so far, so it has to be like the biggest and baddest they've got.
う。あの生めかしい曲線、いくらも飲んでやれなかった。
それで思いついたんだけど。
Okay, he quite obviously said something about a boar,
ま
I
だ
think,
命令が
and
下
then
る
did
には
the,
時間がありそうだし。
shape of a woman thing.
ジンと飲み物もいいが、
He's clearly a
そなたの目を
cannibal.
どうにかしたらどうだ。すぐ自分の立場を悪くする。ちなみにティルノムが良い。
熱くしてロープを浮かべるんですよね、艦長。
私はそういう朝冷たくして、私と一緒にいたくないの？
僕の猫なんだけど。
やきもち？冷たくしてリンゴの香りをつけて。
了解。
艦長、主勢の
I
入
don't
ってい
know,
る
I
も
kind
の
of
を
feel
ご
like a
紹介
triangle's
いただけ
happening
ますか。
somewhere. This is just weird.
冗談を言っているのであろうな。
しばらくの間辛抱
もちろん
するんだぞ。
ですとも艦長。雰囲気を和ませようとしたんですが、あまり面白くなかったですかな。俺はいらないよ、坊や。
了解。でも坊やはやめてください。
猫抜きで三角関係をやってくれたら、坊やなんて呼ばないさ。
坊や
Not
と
what I
呼んで
meant.
ください。私
But
は
I'm
ソニア
happy
ーラ
somebody else said
4
triangle.
人白国産の葉があったはずだよ。それと砂糖をたっぷり。わかりました。
I feel like the majority of notes I'm going to be taking from this episode is going to be about drinks.
軍艦隊司令部からの指令を受けたわ。全艦平面宇宙に突入。突入後は速やかに我が元に集合し、単獣人を取ること。いいこと。私たちの目的は正体不明時空砲軍の完全殲滅。連絡艦一隻でも逃したら私たちの負けよ。初陣で負けるなんて体裁が悪いってことは分かってもらえるわよね。何か質問は？結構。
I'm also less concerned about the cat being on the bridge. When we're just
行くぞ。
haphazardly drinking drinks all over the place.
監督。
I know we put them away,
時空砲発生期間の指導準
but I
備。
think it could get hurt, destroyed, splash everywhere.
速度通過30秒前。
時空砲を発生するがよい。
時空砲発生を確認。
5、4、3、2、1、突入。平面宇宙に突入しました。
直ちに共同突撃艦の位置を確認するがよい。
約500ウェスダージュ。
追随する。
はい。
ガムロイルから砲艦通信。
Okay, it is
時空
packing
融合
with
せよ。
mines.
あと5秒。3、2、1。
the cat have some sort of supernatural sense to this? Because I don't know what it could possibly be, afraid of.
安全装置1番から4番まで解除します。人類統合体の領域を駆け抜け、その領域を分断させる減塩作戦によって、
I mean, unless it's just tense because everyone in the room is tense.
生計を占領した。スポール提督率いる第一艦隊はその先方を切り、現在の支配域を拡大しつつある。比較的初めのうちに占領したアプティックは通常宇宙から見ればはるかに前線からは遠ざかっているものの、平面宇宙からの抜け穴であるソードがある限り、常に敵の侵攻の可能性は捨てられない。つまりソードがある限り、そこは最前線なのだ。時空融合。
Well, that's the point of the side advances, which you just talked about, so. I'm glad she's kicking in. I guess my concern here now is the fact that wasn't it this episode in season 1 where we lost Lexu, my favorite character? I don't want a repeat of losing people that I enjoy the most every third episode of every season. It's not a good, step to keep. Otherwise, really, wasn't a lot of meat to this episode for me. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe in the first 2 episodes of the first season, I felt like I was just really getting to know the world. So there was a lot of, figuring stuff out there. But now that the world's really been fleshed out, I feel like what I'm doing is, at some points, getting to know the world more, but not in an appreciable way. Like, I don't really need to know that corn on a stick is Jinto's favorite snack, or what everyone wants to drink. I want to see the relationship develop more, and I feel like funny enough, I feel like I wanted to see the conversation about why Daiho should have stayed on the ship more than I wanted to hear about the Hector Commander discussing the burden of the title and clarifying the position of her on the murder of her brother. I don't know. I really care about that cat.
そうじゃなくて、初陣でみんな生き残ったことにさ。
Oh, good.
時空分離。
Spoiler.
はい。
ベルズロイルの爆散を確認。
退避が遅れた。私の対価が犠牲を出すなんて。
来ます。4発。
ラビール、直撃します。
汎用処方。
I guess my thing here is he said, oh, it's great, we all survived. So clearly they're pulling some sort of weird tactic that they didn't anticipate. That or the Hector Commander's plot to go in single file worked just as well as the Star Wars thing. Otherwise, there was obviously a skull mark on that ship. So I thought immediately, oh, this isn't the United Mankind. This is some weird pirate action. However, it just doesn't seem that way. Obviously, also, why would the pirates be attacking it head-on into an oncoming wave of forward attack operations? And also, why would they have 6 patrol ships? Right, that's like, I mean, obviously I just use a Star Wars example, but there is that one canon pirate group that took over a super star destroyer and then eventually sells it back to the Republic, so it's not, even in the realm of my own examples, it's not unheard of. But still, no. I think it's just, maybe that's more like Macross, right? Where you have Skull Squadron, that is just a very elite group. That would explain why they're taking losses. Well, the fact that they're new and they haven't been in battle before is also a reason why they're taking losses. but they seem to have thought that they were in safe space or that they had survived, and then they start losing people, and then they start taking hits. So either that or they've fallen out of formation. Sorry, the problem here is that I'm never going to solidify on anything as being the case. I feel like if I was in that world, right, I would be part of the information bureau. I'd be one of those guys that are saying, "Oh, there's a 98% chance of victory. Why are you giving them 2%?" Well, one, they could be crazy, and two, they right. I'm like that, except that I don't know the percentages, so everything is 50-50 for me. I just I just don't know. Other than that, God, there's so much to work with here on just that preview. I know I don't want the show to just be battles, because even when it comes to Gundam, I just get tired of seeing fighting with no like narrative consequence. But that had so much more meat to it than what drinks does everybody want. Now, granted, I am obviously very much still intrigued by the fact that Samson might be a cannibal. I'm just still 100%. I'm pretty sure he was describing food and then giving the whole, proportions of a woman thing. So their food stock could be people. Ah, other than that, I know I should care more about uh Clowal's sister, but I, I mean, it's more interesting that she's a Hector commander, and it's more interesting to see what she will do in that position than to know about her backstory with her brother and her current feelings on his murder. It just doesn't interest me that much. I'm sorry. I want to know where it's going. And so far, Banner of the Stars has taken the position of telling us where we've been more than where we're going. Everyone's like, "You're in with Lafiel. Tell her this for me. She's difficult to talk to." And as I think I said early on in this episode, no. No, how about no to that? How about we help each other, develop as people, and you talk to her and try to warm her up to everybody else? And if everybody does that, maybe, I don't know. I mean, obviously, that's not how the Ob act, but a lot of these people aren't genetically Ob, they're nationally Ob. So, I don't know. I just don't feel like a lot of stuff is being helped by everybody using Jinto as a middleman, and Jinto clearly does not appreciate being a middleman. I'm in ramble mode. I'm in ramble mode. I think it's time to go ahead and get into note taking, and we'll see what we come out after that. So I'll catch you. I've already pointed. Point some more after. All right, we're back from notes. Let's see. First off here, I think I only added a couple more things, like that one kingdom being famous for tea. Not a lot of major things. So mostly actually just notes on the episode this time. Fair amount, but none of them actually important, or I shouldn't say not setting changing, not changing my opinion of the show that much. We're working our way up the ladder of importance. I feel like last season was more personally important things, and this time we're like on the cusp of setting important material, but the actual characters are not doing much important stuff. We've spent at least twice now in relaxation mode talking about nothing. That wasn't actually a note, that was just an observation that took me away for a moment. Let's see, what do I got? When they describe the Imperial capital before, they always talk about this amazing base that houses all these people and how beautiful it looks. Jinto even goes on about its glow. Now, I know last time, I'm going off tangent from my own topic. I know last time I discussed how it must be cluttered with the bodies of the dead from the surprise attack, but just wanted you to remember that before I kept going. Why doesn't anyone talk about the proto Dyson sphere that they've built around the star? That is the amazing thing. I mean, unless they have those all over the place, still, that's pretty freaking amazing. I think it's even more amazing if they built them all over the place. I know that that specific configuration has a name of its own, but I didn't look it up and I don't remember. Like, I know there's multiple variations of a Dyson sphere. Obviously, there's the full Dyson sphere where we wouldn't see the star, and obviously they wouldn't have like a base outside of it. They'd have to be all around it. You've got like ring worlds, obviously, which you could do around a star as well. I think that lattice work is best used for energy collection because that's one version of a Dyson sphere as well. You can also do that with a bunch of like floating mirrors and everything as well. Do like a whole solar collection. There's also a Matruska brain, which is kind of like a cloud version of a Dyson sphere, which is mostly used for computing, obviously. That's why I said cloud version. There's so many. There's so many versions. I would suggest if you like this sort of stuff, if I can remember what's the name of it, Orion's Arm. Look up Orion's Arm. It's a weird, crazy, imagined future sort of scenario where basically all weird sci-fi stuff like this with AI gods, different Dyson spheres. If you're a fan of Terran Trade Authority, this very same thing. Anyway, what happened to the Third Fleet? I only just noticed that the intro goes from Second Fleet to Fourth Fleet. From the positioning of Lafiel's ship, I have to assume she is part of the First Fleet, so mysterious unmentioned fleet? I mean, in hindsight, I think at the very end of the episode they mentioned that Admiral Spore, the Duchess, is pushing on ahead, and it seems like they're part of the back end of the fleet that's holding these places. Because, as he says, any place with a spore is a place that can be attacked. But I just kind of assumed that the back end is also still part of the progressing fleet. Unless I've missed some indication here that the third fleet is the one that's holding all these planets and that the third fleet is just separated across space. I don't know. If I had to rank the conversations I am the most interested in seeing, the probability of Daisho surviving on the Basroil versus the Capital, and the Aptic 3 president getting played by every OB commander are on the top of them. I would like to see more of that than Clowal's sister explaining her position when it comes to her brother's death, or people trying to middleman Jinto when it comes to giving messages to Lafiel, and certainly more than what everyone's drink of choice is. I'm sorry, I I'm not entertained by the fact that everybody on the bridge has their own pre-battle drink routine, or the fact that they do it. I mean, she says that having a cat on board makes it feel not as serious when they're in combat or something like that. She said something to that effect last episode. Sorry, I'm holding back a sneeze while I talk. I think everybody drinking out of like fast food cups is just the same feeling. Ah, quick, the pow's about to happen. Put it in the cupboard. You know? Like, what's going on here? I think it's funny to think that Martak is trying to play politics with Lord Desagno and getting played in a completely different way than how the Duchess did him. At the same time, we see this in the first season. If Martak were willing to play ball, he can just do what Rock did and, air quotes, sell out his planet to get himself a royal title. Of course, as Desagno states, it's entirely possible that they might get pushed back and the planet falls back into United Mankind hands again, in which case Martek would get the same treatment that Rock got in the end as well, you know, by that asshole deal. Just seems to me like the winning move is just to bet on the Ob, though. I mean, we're about to find out, I guess, next episode, but in my eyes, even though the Ob are, legitimately dictators if you think about it, they're still the good guys, weirdly, the good guy dictators. I'm as bad at reading relationships as Lord Desagno, as it seems to me that Admiral Keenesh and he have a little thing going on, but he seems to see it as a disagreement among the staff and actively questions if there is something he needs to know to her questioning gaze. Like that whisper that they do between each other had to have been super confusing to her if she thinks one thing is going on. But he seemed to do it half heartedly, like he knew too, so it doesn't work out when I say that I don't understand what's happening, and then we get a do they understand what's happening? Alright, I'm sorry for this one. Corn is not a snack. End sentence. I'm not super enthused that Atasuria knew her father was being imprisoned and did nothing about it. I guess under one argument, Clowall was the acting baron and had full authority over his domain. I still have to question how he got that authority when Sloop was still alive to have retained the title and authority himself. We never really get the indication that he stepped down and gave Clowall the title. I mean, if he did, then what a slap in the face for absolutely no reason, right? Here, my son, I give you the domain. Cool. Arrest this man. Like, what the? I guess the patrol ship fleet is just skipping swords. We knew they are coming from Wimple. To have approached Aptic to judge their fleet strength implies it's that they've skipped past Dalmav and Mistel, right? I suppose there is no reason that you'd have to stop off at these swords. Just seems like a heavy investment to probe so deep into enemy terrain. Now I'm realizing now I said heavy investment when they could have entire battalions of patrol ships. We don't know. Also, it's my understanding that the patrol ships of, say, like the United Mankind are so far less advanced than the Allied patrol ships as to not even be on the same tier. So, I don't know. If patrol ships are like the most powerful ships in each fleet, then it still seems to be like a heavy investment, right? Like if we send in real world two carrier groups somewhere, the implication is that we thought we needed more than one, and that we're sending a heavy investment somewhere. Mm. Oh, here's a correction. I completely misheard Samson and thought he was talking about food. So when I was saying he was using the shape of a woman to describe a meal, he was obviously indicating the elaborate shape of some specific type of alcohol bottle that he likes. So, my bad on that. Hopefully, a bunch of you hadn't already written shit down in the comments before you got this far. Or the more worrisome prospect, those of you who only watched the section with the reaction in it and never got here. Because I'm going to respond to your comments and I'm going to say, hey, I already explained myself, and I don't know how I'm going to emphasize that voice that I just did, but I'll find a way. So hopefully you didn't listen this far and are now just making the comment to make me respond to them. If so, screw you. Probably still will though, but screw you. And lastly, Was the triangle being indicated between Lafiel and Ikuria, and I was too dense to notice? If so, like I said before with Lord Desanio, I am far too dense for this, which I guess puts me right in line with Jinto at the end of the day, if assuming he also did not understand, because I think he doesn't, but at the same time, I just stated I'm too dense to notice, so it's kind of like a loop, if you think about it. Anyways, those have been my thoughts for this episode on a second rewatch. Thank you once again for joining me. Leave your comments. I do enjoy having some backup here. Even those of you who've already watched this before, so long as you're not spoiling me and you're giving me your thoughts on the episodes that I'm watching at the same time, come on aboard. Join the ride, Be with me on this. Otherwise, thank you once again for joining me. I have been Theta. This has been Banner of the Stars, and I will catch you next episode. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?